I just saw Firebrand with Alicia Vikander and Jude Law. And it was a pretty basic period piece, based on a true story, inspired by a true story, but taking their own interpretations. I didn't find it boring, but I didn't find anything in this movie or film that was unique from any other film that I had seen like this. I love the story of Henry VIII and all of his wives and things like that. Anne Boleyn. I think that I find it so fascinating. So the main thing that stood out to me was the acting. They're both extraordinary, but specifically Jude Law. There was just a couple of, you could really tell he was tapped in and he was letting his imagination go wild, and he was letting himself do things in these really intricate, interesting, creative ways. I just kept thinking about my acting teacher, Berg, and how so much of his emphasis is on the imagination and is on you doing some sort of creative task and letting yourself dream and imagine while you're acting, and how active that is when it's on screen. There was just a couple of things that Jude Law did that really was so powerful. There was this point where he had her face in his hand, and he had this necklace that she had given to someone to betray him, and he had opened her mouth, and into her mouth he said no more lies, but he was holding her mouth open, and it was so uncomfortable and powerful and specific. And then he put the necklace in her mouth, and then kissed her mouth, and I just remember thinking, I don't think the director came up with that. I think that was all Jude Law, just tapped in. But that really stood out to me. But anyway, yeah, it wasn't bad. It was interesting. If you love period pieces, you'll probably like it. But if you don't, you'll probably be a little bored. I did find it interesting and fascinating, and now I want to go look up the actual movie. Not the movie, the actual story and history and how similar it is. But it very much was a prequel to the reign of Queen Elizabeth, and it was told through the perspective of Queen Catherine's daughter, Queen Elizabeth, that wasn't her daughter, but that she raised like her daughter. Anyway,